Hello everybody and welcome back to Expert Examiner IELTS. My name is Glyn and in this video we have another writing check, another IELTS Task 2 essay. So we begin as always by reading the question, analysing the question, making sure that we know exactly what the question wants from us and also thinking about some nice simple 4-paragraph structure. So let's take a look at this question. Education. So the theme apparently is education. Education is not a luxury. So a luxury is like something that, you don't need, but just something that maybe is just, it makes your life a little bit better. Education is not a luxury. Education is not a luxury, but a basic human right. Education is a basic human right. What human rights do we have? Well, we have basic human rights to life, to food, to freedom of thought and freedom of speech and freedom of religion and freedom from religion. I don't know if these are in... Most of those are in the human rights, I'm sure. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We don't need to know what, the UN says about human rights, but we all have an idea of human rights. We all deserve to live. We all deserve to eat. We all deserve the right to, be healthy and so on. And education, it is not a luxury. Education is not like a nice car or a brand new iPhone or something. Education isn't like this, but it is a basic human right. It's like freedom to have food, freedom to have water, that type of thing. That is the category of education. Cool. And as such, and because of this, and therefore, and as a result, it should be free. Education should be free. That's the argument here. Education should be free. Why? It's not a luxury, it's a basic human right. Should be free for everyone. Let's make that blue as well. Education should be free for everyone. Not just some people, but it should be free for everyone. Irrespective of personal wealth. So it doesn't matter how much money you have, irrespective of personal health. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter if you are rich, if you are poor, if you are upper class, working class, middle class, aristocracy. Doesn't matter. Education should be free for everyone. Do you agree or disagree? Okay, so nice, simple. I love these. Do you agree or disagree? Again, very, very easy to deal with these questions. What would we like, or what would I like in a structure here? I would like an introduction to give me some background information about the subject, maybe mentioning something about human rights, or maybe mentioning something about the value of education, some historical thing about education, whatever. Some background information that lets the reader know that the topic is education, connecting it to human rights. There should be some reference to the question or to the disagreement, like what the question here is, should education be a human right and should it be free for everyone? So we should have some reference to that question. I also want to know what the candidate's position is here. The candidate can simply choose agree or disagree. And I want to see that in the introduction. I want to know from the introduction, I want to say, yes, this candidate believes that education should be free. Or this candidate believes, no, education shouldn't be free for everyone. That's what I want to know. I don't need to know the reasons why the candidate believes this in the introduction, but I need to know the position. If I don't know the candidate's position from the introduction, then for task response, the candidate isn't getting a 6 or higher. I guess a 6. Yeah, I guess a 6 or higher. Anyway, then body paragraph 1, reason 1 why you agree or disagree. Body paragraph 2, reason 2 why you agree or disagree. And then a conclusion with some short summary of your position, short summary of your ideas, your arguments, plus I like some kind of reflective comment in the conclusion here. Something about, a reminder to people about, something. Yeah, learning how to write these reflective comments, I think, is a really important thing for candidates to do too. Not all essays require reflective comments, but a lot of them do. But let's have a look. First of all, do we get the 4-paragraph structure is the first question. 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs. Great. Word count, do we have more than 250 words? This looks slightly short. I guess it's about 250, just over, I guess. Word count, 262. So okay, 262 words. It's okay if you're a concise writer, no problem. Certainly think, I like to aim for 280. I don't like to go above 200. I don't like to go above 300, but 262, fine. Okay, let's check out the introduction first of all then. Do we get background information, a reference to the question, and also the candidate's position? The opportunity to have a free education. Yeah, okay. Usually education is uncountable, but sometimes when we put adjectives before uncountable nouns, they become countable. I think it's called the re-evaluation of uncountable nouns. I believe that's the grammar topic. Like, you should have a good working knowledge. Knowledge is usually uncountable, but once we add pre-modifying adjectives, we often add this a good working knowledge, a free education. So yeah, it's okay. The opportunity to have a free education or being dependent on personal wealth. Or it being dependent on personal wealth. So being dependent sounds like it's linking to this, the opportunity to being dependent on personal wealth. I know that the candidate means education being dependent on personal wealth, but the grammar doesn't quite check out there, so that's just a little bit strange. Personal wealth is a widely debated issue. Okay, a widely debated issue. That shows some background information, I guess. While charging for education could offer some benefits. Charge for something. Cool, good stuff. Sorry, my mouse is not doing what I want it to do. And could offer some benefits. This is nice soft tone language, kind of like hedging, not maximalist, not too strong, very academic in nature. Nice. I strongly support the view. Very nice personal language to introduce the candidate's position. Very nice. That free education is a fundamental human right. Okay, beautiful introduction. Apart from one small, slightly strange bit of grammar, I can still work out what you mean, but apart from this slightly small, strange bit of grammar, I'm very, very happy with the introduction. Very strong. So now I want to get reason 1 plus a lot of development about why, just reason 1, why the candidate agrees. And I want to see this put forward, hopefully in the first sentence of the paragraph. Let's see. Providing the chance to increase knowledge and having adequate literacy for all members of society is considered as a key indicator of economic and social health among different nations. That's a good reason. Cool. And very complex sentence there. Very long, but easy enough to follow. Although private schools have more potential for offering sophisticated education, good subordination. I like this although clause. Sorry, I should start marking things green just because it helps me come back to them. Sentence start with a gerund. Nice. Having adequate literacy. Cool. I like this. Maybe adequate literacy rates or something like this, but okay. Members of society. Nice. Okay. I won't highlight everything. Key indicator, I liked. There's a lot of nice vocab that I like here. So let's get back to it. Although private schools have more potential for offering sophisticated education, good, free public schools can guide countries to increase their residents. Good use of the apostrophe here, good skill. Not everyone knows this rule. To increase their residents' literacy levels. I want to use the plural here. Literacy levels, just a minor thing, and reduce class differences. Okay, I don't know if reducing class differences, I mean, that could be a consequence. Reducing class differences could be a consequence, and in some people's opinion, it could be a positive consequence of having free education. But that feels almost utilitarian, that it's, we're giving people free education for some type of purpose to reduce class differences. But the question really is about it being a basic right. So with basic rights, you don't need to give a purpose. You don't need to explain why we should offer water to people, because it's already assumed that it's a good thing. So really we should be arguing maybe why education is a human right. But okay, it's a minor issue. Very minor issue. Very, very minor. Scandinavian countries, for example, cool, we get a nice example here. Nice. Reduced the class differences. Okay, maybe I would like present perfect here, have reduced. I don't see why past simple is used. Scandinavian countries, for example, reduced the class differences among their members. Maybe past simple could be okay. I don't want to be too strict on that. Let's make that orange. Reduce the class differences among their members. Do countries have members? Sounds strange to say Scandinavian countries reduced class differences among their members. Countries don't have members. They have citizens, they have residents, in some cases subjects, but they don't have members. By providing access to education for every member of their society. Okay. Okay, so reason one, it reduces class differences. Okay, fine. Number two. Maybe a bit of signposting language might be nice here. I'd like, just a little bit like a firstly and a secondly, or first of all, or a second of all. I like that, like showing cohesion between paragraphs, signposting language to say, hey, we're moving on. So I think it could be nice to have that signposting language there. Even just simple. Firstly, providing the chance to, secondly, being skilled. So that language would be nice. Being skilled and having a higher education level will enhance the likelihood of being employed. There's no person here to be employed. I don't see in the sentence a subject, even if it's an impersonal subject like one. So notice the difference. Being skilled and having a higher education level will enhance the likelihood of one being employed. And then that one being employed ties everything together. Right now we have the question, grammatically we have the question, well, who are you talking about being employed? There is no reference to something that can be employed in this sentence. So it's a slightly strange sentence grammatically. Although I have to say that I do like the use of the passive. Oh, no, it's not a passive gerund. Being skilled is just being as a main verb, being skilled adjective, and having a higher education. So it kind of makes good use of gerunds. Cool. This not only helps individuals earn a living, but also, so I always like this not only, but also. I think those things tie together very well. You may know that there is a piece of grammar in English called inversion, which maybe looks a little bit nicer. Not only does this help individuals. I'll repeat that. Not only does this help individuals. So that's a bit more complex grammar. This not only helps individuals. So you have your regular sentence, that's fine, but there is something that we call an inversion or an inverted clause that could put your grammar higher. This not only helps individuals earn a living, but also helps the country's economy to flourish. Beautiful collocation there. Economies do flourish. Very nice. Furthermore, good signposting language. Fulfilling one of the basic human needs can lead to having... Which one? I'm not sure which human basic need you have here. Do you mean the need for education? Because the question is like, is education a human need? And the person is arguing, yes, it is a human need, not a luxury. But you're speaking about it as if it is already taken for granted, or it's already believed, already there is a consensus that education is a human need. So this thing is a little bit presumptuous. Doesn't matter. Anyway, fulfilling one of the basic human needs can lead to having a healthy economy. Haven't we already mentioned that? Seems like a little bit of a repetitive idea. Let me just read back first of all. So being skilled and having higher education will enhance the likelihood of being employed, and this helps the economy to flourish. Furthermore, if we meet this basic need, it can lead to having a healthy economy. But you've already said that, haven't you? It's like saying, I like tea. Furthermore, I like tea. Okay. And be more resilient to crime and societal problems. Okay, well, maybe drop the economy thing and talk about crime and societal problems, maybe. Or I think it's better to speak more about the economy here, develop the answer further. So, okay, kind of just a little bit strange with the coherence here. I'm not quite sure where you're going with this healthy economy and also we should have a being here. So lead to having a healthy economy and being more resilient. But again, not quite sure what the subject is. Can lead to a country having a healthy economy and being more so yeah, there's no obvious subject here. Okay. Resilient to crime and societal problems. For instance, in developed countries like Finland with higher investments in education, the rate of crime and vandalism among students is lower than in developing countries, which suffer from a lack of attention to public education. Okay, that's a fair point, right? In Finland, everyone has education and there is less crime, or the rate of crime is lower, while countries that don't offer don't offer attention to public education, they have higher rates of crime. Sorry, I'm just trying to read too much here. Let's go through this again. For instance, in developed countries like Finland, with higher investments in education, comma, the rate of crime and vandalism among students is lower than in developing countries, comma, which suffer from a lack of attention to public education and a lower chance of employability. Okay, that's a fair point. I think that ties together nicely. Just felt a little bit of a lack of coherence just in the middle, just slight. But okay. In conclusion, good signposting language. Do we get a nice summary of the points here? In conclusion, considering the right of having education for every member of society. I'm getting a bit lost here. Considering the right of having education for every member of society could be beneficial. What could be beneficial? If we consider the right, or if we grant the right and give the right. So it's not just considering. Considering the right won't be beneficial. Granting the right would be beneficial. So maybe it's just the word considering is leading to some problems with understanding here. By reducing class difference. Moreover, this can not only alleviate economic and societal problems, but also improve the prospect of having financial stability. Cool. I'd like to see maybe, so you've done a reasonably good summary of your point here. I would like maybe an extra reflective comment, just an extra small comment to maybe reinforce the importance of education. But okay. Certainly a very strong attempt. We're certainly at that C1 level. Task response. How informed am I? I'm almost fully informed. So I see the candidate's position. I see the two main arguments that they make. The first argument that they make is that it helps people with the economy. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of it is kind of strange because it's economic and societal health. And then it talks about reducing class differences. I think just pick one maybe. We have economic health, societal health, and reducing class differences all in one paragraph there. So that makes it a little bit confusing. Then the second one, again, we talk about healthy economy, but also resilience to crime and societal problems. So Yeah, okay, so task response, I think I'm going to award 7 for task response. Coherence and cohesion, I'm going to award the 8 for this. So 4 paragraphs, wonderful, very, very logical flow, each sentence linking into the next sentence, very, very nice. The ideas in the ideas are a little bit cluttered. The ideas, I feel, get in the way just a little bit, where you have like you're talking about economic health, societal health, and reducing class differences. For me, those are 3 different points. And I don't want those to be in one paragraph. And then in the next paragraph, you have, again, the healthy economy, and then you have crime and societal problems. And again, just don't need all of those things in one paragraph. So that's why the task response is 7. But the flow of the essay is beautiful. Coherence and cohesion, 8. Lots of signposting language. I think maybe it could have been nice at the beginning of each paragraph to have some signposting language. Firstly, secondly, fine. Okay. Lexical resource, I think I can award the 8 for this too. This considering the right is strange. I think granting the right is better. I don't think there are many other slips with. I don't think there are many other slips with vocabulary. Yeah, really not far away from the 9 for vocabulary here. I have to really justify now why it's not a 9. So I've chosen this one thing of considering being the wrong word, alleviate problems, improve the prospect of having financial stability. It's all very, very nice. Higher investments in education, nice. Rate of crime. There was one where I felt like, they're members. Countries don't have members, they have citizens or residents. And then there was one more where literacy levels maybe is better. And maybe again, adequate literacy levels or adequate literacy rates or something like that. So just a couple of very, very minor points with vocab. That's what pulls it down for me to a 8, not a 9. Grammatical range and accuracy. So we're just a couple, again, minor positions, I feel like, or being dependent was strange here. The opportunity to have a free education or being dependent. We just want this noun repeated, to have a free education or education being dependent or it being dependent. So we missed that important subject. And again, we had the same thing here. Being skilled and having a higher education level will enhance the likelihood of being employed. We want of people being employed, of citizens being employed, of residents being employed, of a country's inhabitants being employed. So we've missed the subject there. And also we missed this gerund here. Generally they use gerunds well, the candidate. Beautiful range of structures, very, very, very good control. Just a few of those instances where you missed out important subject. So GRA, this is 8. I feel with task response, I think, yeah, maybe 7 is okay for that. So overall, the final score is 7.75, which lowers, of course, the final overall 7.75, which, of course, unfortunately, brings us down to 7.5. What will the candidate get in the real test? I could imagine this candidate getting 8.0 for writing for sure. A task response could certainly just be improved slightly and get to 8. It's always very, very difficult or almost impossible to get the 9 for writing. I know many people, I've had many students over the years who got a 9 for speaking. I've never had a student who got a 9 for writing, I don't think. No, never had one who got a 9 for writing. Maybe that says a lot about me as a teacher. Who knows? So yeah, difficult to imagine the candidate getting a 9, but could they get an 8? Yes. 8.5, I don't know. But so yeah, 7.5 I feel is fair for this piece of writing, but I fully expect the candidate to get 8.0, and I wouldn't be surprised if an examiner gave this piece of writing an 8.0. Probably with my marking, I'm just a little bit stricter than most examiners, just a little bit. But I call it as I see it, as according to the IELTS criteria, but most importantly, according to the CEFR, the official like C2, C1, B2, B1 stuff. I feel like this is a solid piece of C1 writing, not quite at C2. Yeah, so I hope that breakdown of this candidate's writing was useful for you. If you'd like to have your own writing check, or if you would like to have a speaking test with feedback, you can request this through my Telegram channel. A link to the Telegram channel is below. Basically, every week I select 3 lucky winners for the speaking test, 3 lucky winners for the writing check. Then I do those in the 1 week, and then the following week the same thing happens. But in order to request this, you have to be a member of the Telegram channel. Again, a link is given below. Anyway, again, hope this was useful. See you again very, very soon, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.